Hi, it's Mrs. O'Brien here, coming to you from my home office. Um, just want to show you a couple things in my home office. Up here, I have lots of books, and guess what? They're all about poetry. They're about reading poetry, writing poetry, and teaching poetry. I love to do all of that. And if you remember, when we were in small groups a few weeks ago, I talked about how I always used a dictionary when I was in college, and it wasn't online. It was just the book. And these are the books I used when I was studying poetry in college, which really wasn't all that long ago, believe it or not. So I carried this around with me all the time, and I still look for it every once in a while. So this is my dictionary, and this is my thesaurus, which we talked about too at one point, where you go to find other words that mean the same thing, synonyms. Anyway, I just wanted to show you around my little office, which has lots of books and things. But I'm really here because I'm going to do a little read aloud for you. And I'm so happy to do it because this is one of the books I do a read aloud for now a few years. So I'm excited to do it for you. Did you know that April is Poetry Month? Did you know that? Did you know that Mrs. Benaric and myself love poetry? Poetry is fun to write. It's fun to listen to, and it's fun to read. Do you believe that? Think about it. I'm going to do a read aloud about a boy named Jack. And you're going to find out what he thinks about poetry. What do you think he's going to think about it? I need you to listen carefully because we may have questions at the end. So here we go. The name of the book is Love That Dog. You say, what could be about poetry? It says it's about a dog. So this is written by Sharon Creech. Now let's look at the back of it as we do a little bit of a book walk. And the top says Jack. Let me see if I can get a little closer. And it has it says Jack, and then it talks a little bit about Jack and somebody's name, and then it has a date. And that's a sample page, because this book is written like a journal or a diary where you write your thoughts on a certain day. So this is Jack's thoughts as he went to school. Here's the title page. Okay. Let's go through. And now here's the very first page. Oh my gosh. Does that look like the easiest reading ever? When I first read this book to myself, I enjoyed it so much. I read it in like probably less than 30 minutes. I've gone back and read it many times now on a slower pace to enjoy it just a little bit more. So here we go. Jack. Room 105. Miss Stretchberry. September 13th. I don't want to because boys don't write poetry. Girls do. September 21st. I tried. Can't do it. Brain's empty. September 27th. I don't understand the poem about the red wheelbarrow and the white chickens, and why so much depends upon them. For that is a poem about the red wheelbarrow and the white chickens. Then any words can be a poem. You just got to make short lines. Now Jack talks about a poem called The Red Wheelbarrow. It's written by a famous poet named William Carlos Williams. I'm going to read that to you real quick, but we might be able to actually show you the poem online at some point. So here's The Red Wheelbarrow. The Red Wheelbarrow by William Carlos Williams. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. So remember what Jack said? He didn't understand that poem. Do you? October 4th. Do you promise not to read it aloud? Do you promise not to put it on the board? Okay, here it is, but I don't like it. So much depends upon a blue car splattered with mud speeding down the road. October 10th. What do you mean? Why does so much depend upon a blue car? You didn't say before that I had to tell why. The wheelbarrow guy didn't tell why. Who's he talking to? Who is Jack talking to when he writes in his journal? I'm thinking it's the teacher, right? He's just not happy with his poetry stuff. October 17th. What was up with the Snowy Woods poem you read today? Why doesn't the person just keep going if he's got so many miles to go before he sleeps? And why do I have to tell more about the blue car splattered with mud speeding down the road? I don't want to write about the blue car that had miles to go before it slept. So many miles to go in such a hurry. Now, Jack talks about a poem written by a Mr. Robert Frost. We're not going to read it specifically today, but maybe somewhere down the line. But I have a book with that poem. Many books have been printed about that poem, and I'll just show you a couple of the pages. It talks about a snowy woods and how someone's all alone and it's quiet. Okay, so that's the poem that Jack is talking about in his journal. October 24th. I am sorry to say I did not really understand the Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright poem, but at least it sounded good in my ears. Here is the blue car with tiger sounds. Blue car, shining bright in the darkness of the night. Who could see you speeding by like a comet in the sky? I could see you in the night. Blue car, shining bright. I could see you speeding by like a comet in the sky. Some of the tiger sounds are still in my ears, like drums. Beat, beat, beating. Oh, that reminds me. I have that poem, I think, in this book. Oh, forgot to mark it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And we have some of these books in the classroom, so when we go back, hopefully soon, you'll be able to find it and take a look at it. Here's the poem that Jack is talking about. It's written by William Blake. It says, Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? Anyway, it's a real poem, and you can find this book in our library at school. Let's get back to Jack's thoughts. October 31st. Yes, you can put the two blue car poems on the board, but only if you don't put my name on them. November 6th. They look nice, typed up like that, on blue paper, on a yellow board. But still, don't tell anyone who wrote them, okay? And what does anonymous mean? Is it good? November 9th. I don't have any pets. So I can't write about one, and especially I can't write a poem about one. November 15th. Yes, I used to have a pet. I don't want to write about it. You're going to ask me, why not? Right? November 22nd. Pretend I still have that pet? Can I make up a pet, a different one, like a tiger or a hamster or a goldfish, a turtle, a snail, a worm, a flea? I just want to show you this page. Look at how he writes. He just writes one words. Because this is a journal, okay? You write whatever way you want to. November 29th. I like those small poems we read today. When they're small like that, you can read a whole bunch in a short time, and then in your head are all the pictures of all the small things from all the small poems. I liked how the kitten leaped in the cat poem, and how you could see the long head of the horse in the horse poem. And especially I like the dog in the dog poem, because that's just how my yellow dog used to lie down with his tongue all limp in his chin between his paws, and how he'd sometimes chomp at a fly and then sleep in his loose skin, just like the poet Miss Valerie Worth says in her small dog poem. December 4th. Why do you want to type up what I wrote about reading the small poems? It's not a poem, is it? I guess you can put it on the board if you want to, but don't put my name on it in case other people think it's not a poem. December 13th. I guess it does look like a poem when you see it typed up like that, but I think maybe it would look better if there was more space between the lines, like how I wrote it the first time. And I like the picture of the yellow dog you put beside it, but that's not how my yellow dog looked. I'm going to stop there, and we'll continue on January 10th at my next video. Think about it. If you need to re-listen to it, and then answer some questions. Think about Jack. Does he like writing poetry? Is he annoyed with his teacher? Is it starting to get a little easier? How about all those poems that they reference? Would you like to read them? I would like to read them separately to you, because some of them are a little long, like the Snowy Woods one. Anyway, I'll see you again at the next video. Keep on reading.